The galaxy was dark with war. For many years, the United Species Alliance had fought against the Varnock, a brutal and powerful alien race. The Varnock were tall, with gray skin and eyes like fire. They destroyed everything in their path. Planet after planet fell under their control. No army could stop them. No plan worked. The Alliance was losing. Fear spread through every world. There was only one final defense line left, and even that was beginning to fall apart. Ships floated in space, like broken toys. The stars, once peaceful, now watched silently as battles filled the skies. Soldiers were tired. Captains had no more hope. Everyone believed the war would soon end, and not in their favor. The Varnock never showed mercy. They wanted to rule the galaxy, and they were very close to winning. In the command ship of the Alliance, leaders argued. One of them slammed his hand on the table. "We can't hold this line much longer," he shouted. Another said, "There is no help coming. We are all alone." Then a quiet voice spoke. "There is still one planet we haven't heard from." The others turned to look. "Earth," the voice said. "Humans." Everyone laughed. "Humans? They are primitive. They don't even travel far in space. They live on one small planet. What can they do?" But the quiet voice didn't laugh. "I sent a message to them weeks ago," he said. They answered. A few hours later, a strange ship arrived at the edge of the battlefield. It was not big. It was not shiny. In fact, it looked old. The other captains stared at it on the screen. "That's the human ship?" someone asked. "It looks like it should be in a museum." But inside that ship, a group of humans prepared for war. They did not wear fancy armor. Their weapons were simple. Their leader, Captain Raina Cole, looked calm. She stared at the map in front of her. "We're not here to impress," she said. "We're here to win." The human ship moved fast. It flew into a small battle where an Alliance ship was under attack. A giant Varnock cruiser was firing from above. The humans didn't wait. They flew low, under the enemy, and launched a strange metal object. It wasn't a missile. It stuck to the Varnock ship and started flashing. Then, boom, a huge explosion. The Varnock cruiser broke apart. Everyone watching the battle went silent. The Alliance ship was saved. "What did they just do?" one captain asked. "That wasn't standard tech." Another replied, "It was creative. Dirty, but creative." For the first time in months, the Alliance saw something different. A new kind of fight. A human fight. Later, in the control room, Captain Cole received a message. A hologram appeared. It was one of the Alliance commanders. He looked at her with surprise. "You saved our ship," he said. Cole nodded. "That's what we're here for." The commander frowned. "You didn't follow any battle code. That attack was reckless." Cole smiled. "It worked, didn't it?" The commander paused. Then, slowly, he nodded. "Yes, it did." Word of the humans spread fast. Soldiers whispered about them. Some laughed. Some were curious. But deep inside, they all felt something they hadn't felt in a long time: hope. These humans, small and strange, didn't fight like others. They didn't care about rules. They cared about winning. The Varnock noticed too. Their scanners picked up the strange human ship. Their leader, General Croth, watched the battle recordings. "So," he growled, "the humans have entered the war." He turned to his advisor. "Send a message to all fleets. Destroy any human ships on sight." The advisor nodded. "Yes, General." Back on the human ship, Captain Cole stood in front of her crew. "They're coming for us now," she said. "Good," replied one of the soldiers. "Let them come." They all smiled. They knew this war wasn't over. Not yet. The stars outside were quiet again, for now. But something had changed. A small planet called Earth had sent its children into the war. And these humans, they were not what anyone expected. They were clever. They were bold. And most of all, they never gave up. And so, for the first time in a long time, the enemy didn't feel so strong. The war was not over. It was just beginning. The sky above the battlefield was filled with smoke and fire. Human ships moved among the stars like shadows, fast, small, and hard to catch. It had only been a few weeks since Earth joined the war, but people were already talking. The humans were strange. Their ships didn't follow design rules. Their weapons looked weak but hit hard. Their soldiers didn't always follow orders, but somehow they survived. Again and again. The United Species Alliance didn't trust them fully yet. Some leaders believed the humans were lucky, not smart. Others thought they were too wild, too dangerous. One Alliance general said, "They are not like us. They fight. Dirty. We can't rely on that." But still, they let the humans fight. Why? Because no one else was winning. In the middle of all this doubt, a major plan was formed. The Alliance would strike back at the Varnock. A fleet of over 100 ships would attack a key Varnock supply base. The mission was simple: destroy the base and run before the enemy could gather. The humans were not included in the plan. "They're not ready for something this big," said the mission leader. But the Varnock were smarter than expected. They were waiting. The moment the Alliance fleet jumped into the area, everything went wrong. Varnock warships appeared from every direction. They had set a trap. The sky turned red with explosions. Ships broke apart. Pilots screamed over the radio. The fleet was falling apart fast. Back at the command station, alarms screamed. The mission leader's voice was shaking. "We've been ambushed. We need help. Anyone, respond." But no one answered. Except one voice. "This is Captain Cole. Human Ship Resolve responding. We're on our way." Inside their small ship, the human crew worked fast. Their engines pushed beyond safe levels. Their weapons were ready. They jumped straight into the middle of the chaos. Where others saw danger, they saw opportunity. The Resolve flew close to the Varnock ships, closer than anyone else dared. They used space debris as cover. They launched decoy drones that confused enemy sensors. One Varnock destroyer turned to fire, but the human ship dropped below it and released a wave of magnetic mines. Boom! Another enemy down. Alliance soldiers watching from damaged ships couldn't believe their eyes. "How are they doing that?" one pilot asked. "They're not even using standard tactics," a commander yelled. But the humans didn't need tactics. They had instinct. They had madness. And it worked. The battle didn't end in victory. Too many Alliance ships were lost. The supply base remained in Varnock hands. But the humans saved over 30 ships from total destruction. They pulled wounded crews into their ship. They repaired damaged hulls mid-flight. They even hacked into Varnock comms to confuse the enemy. In the middle of failure, the humans gave the Alliance a small win. Later, in a quiet meeting room, the Alliance Council sat in silence. The mission leader stood, head down. "We lost the battle," he said. "But the humans saved what was left." No one spoke for a moment. Then one old admiral said, "They are not like us. That may be exactly what we need." Still, not everyone agreed. Whispers started. "What else are they hiding? How did they build such tech without our knowledge? Do they want to win the war or take it over?" Meanwhile, on the human ship, the mood was different. The crew shared food and laughter. One soldier showed off a small Varnock device he grabbed from a wreck. "No idea what it does," he said, "but I'll figure it out." Captain Cole sat quietly watching her team. They had done well, but she could feel the weight of what was coming. "We showed them we can fight," she said. "Now we'll see if they accept us or fear us." Back on a distant planet, hidden deep inside Varnock space, General Croth received a report. A young officer said, "The humans are not what we expected." Croth's eyes narrowed. "No," he said. "They are worse. They bring chaos, and chaos is hard to control." He stood and walked to a large screen showing a map of human space. "Begin preparing the next move," he said. "Target Earth. Let's see what they truly fear losing." Far away, on Earth, families watched the war reports. Most people still didn't know how serious things were. But the human leaders did. They were already building more ships, training more soldiers, making quiet plans, because they knew the enemy wasn't going to stop, and neither would they. The fleet may have been broken. The Alliance may have lost faith, but humanity had just begun, and the galaxy would never be the same again. The war continued. The stars were still filled with fire and death. But something was changing. The humans were no longer just guests in the war, they were becoming important. The other species watched them closely. Some were curious, some were afraid. But no one could ignore them now. The Alliance finally allowed humans to train with their soldiers. It was a test. The commanders wanted to see how these strange fighters worked. On the training field, things didn't go well at first. The humans were loud. They didn't follow perfect lines, they didn't salute or stand still like the others. But when the battle drills started, everything changed. The humans moved fast. They used cover better. They broke rules, yes, but they won. Again and again. The Alliance trainers were confused. "They don't fight right," one of them said. "No," another replied. "They fight to win." One day, a drill turned dangerous. A fake enemy robot went out of control. It fired real shots at the trainees. Panic spread. Many soldiers ran for cover, but the humans ran toward the danger. A young human soldier jumped on top of the robot and dropped a small device into it. The robot froze, then shut down. After the drill, an Alliance officer asked him, "Why didn't you run?" The soldier smiled. "Where I'm from, running doesn't help. You fight or you die." Later that evening, in the Alliance war room, the leaders watched the training footage. One general frowned. "This is not discipline. This is chaos." Another leaned forward. "Maybe that's what we need." As humans trained, they also learned. They studied Varnock weapons, their battle moves, and their weaknesses. But humans didn't just copy. They adapted. They improved. They used junk parts to make new tools. They made traps out of cargo crates. One human engineer even turned a broken food dispenser into a drone that could scan for enemy life signs. Meanwhile, the Varnock continued their attacks. But now, they were slower, more careful. They had started to notice something new on the battlefield. When humans were involved, the enemy often lost. It was like the humans brought bad luck, or something worse. Then came a new problem. The Varnock had created a powerful energy shield. It could cover an entire base. No weapon could break through. The Alliance tried to attack it 3 times. Each time they failed. Commanders met in secret to plan again. Captain Cole was in the room. One officer said, "We need more power, a stronger cannon." Another said, "We should wait and build new weapons." But Cole stood up. "We don't need more power," she said. "We need to think different." Her plan was simple and crazy. A small team would sneak into the Varnock base through the tunnels below. While the shield was up, the main attack would be fake. The Varnock would look up, but the humans would already be inside, placing charges at the power core. Some Alliance leaders laughed. "That's suicide," one said, but no one had a better idea. Cole's team moved fast. They landed far from the base and walked across frozen ground. Then they entered the tunnels. It was dark, cold, and quiet. Too quiet. Suddenly, something moved. A Varnock patrol. The humans hid behind rocks. One soldier reached for his gun, but Cole shook her head. "No noise," she whispered. They waited until the patrol passed, then moved again. Inch by inch, step by step. Finally, they reached the power room. They placed the charges. But just as they were leaving, an alarm rang. The Varnock had found them. Gunfire broke out. The humans fought back with everything they had. One soldier was hit and stayed behind to cover the others. "Go!" he yelled. "Finish the mission!" Outside, the Alliance watched from space. Then a light flashed across the Varnock base. Boom! The shield fell. The main fleet attacked. This time, they won. When the mission ended, only 4 of the 7 humans returned. Their armor was damaged, their faces were tired, but they smiled. Later, the story spread across the galaxy. A small team of humans did what no army could. Even the Alliance had to admit they were impressed, but behind the praise there were whispers. "They are brave," one officer said, "but they're hiding something." "How did they learn all this so fast?" another asked. "What else are they keeping from us?" Captain Cole stood alone on the viewing deck of her ship. She looked out at the stars and thought of the soldier they lost. She didn't smile. "Not this time. This is the human way," she whispered. "We survive. We fight smart. We do what others won't." And in the shadows of space, something else was watching. A new danger. Quiet. Waiting. Because the war was far from over, and the real fight hadn't even begun. The war had changed. The humans were no longer the new fighters in the galaxy. They were now a mystery, feared by the Varnock and still not fully trusted by the Alliance. People respected their skills, but they also whispered about them. Where did they get this technology? Why are they so good at war? Are they telling us everything? The Alliance decided to find out. A patrol ship discovered something strange. On a dead planet far outside known space, they picked up a signal. It was human code, but Earth said no one was there. The Alliance sent a team to investigate. When they landed, they found something shocking. An old human base. It was hidden underground, covered in metal and sand. It had weapons, tech, and machines no one had ever seen before. There were labs filled with broken equipment. Some of the machines were still active. A few rooms had names written in Earth languages. One wall had a message burned into it. Project. Phoenix never again. The Alliance team called for Captain Cole. She arrived quickly. When she entered the base, her face changed. She knew about this place. "This was before the war," she said. "Before we joined the Alliance. A secret research base." One commander asked, "What kind of research?" Cole didn't answer. Right away. She walked to a locked door and placed her hand on a scanner. The door opened. Inside was a room full of data drives and weapons never seen before. Some of them looked dangerous. Too dangerous. "This place was shut down for a reason," she said. "Some things we built were never meant to be used." Later that night, a young Alliance officer secretly copied part of the data. He didn't trust the humans. He sent the files to his superior. But something went wrong. Before the message could reach the council, a Varnock spy intercepted it. The Varnock now had human research. General Croth studied the stolen data. His eyes burned with interest. "So the humans were building weapons like these before the war even started," he said. "They were getting ready. Maybe they expected this war." He smiled. "Let's use their own ideas against them." Back at the Alliance station, arguments began. Some leaders were angry. "Why didn't the humans tell us about this base? What else are they hiding?" Others defended them. "They saved our ships. They risked their lives." But the doubt was growing. Captain Cole stood in front of the council. Her voice was calm. "We didn't share the base because it was a mistake. Earth shut it down long ago. We wanted peace back then." One leader asked, "And now?" Cole looked him in the eyes. "Now we want to survive." That night, Cole sat with her second-in-command, Lieutenant Harris. He looked worried. "They don't trust us anymore," he said. "They never did," Cole replied, "but now we've given them a reason." Suddenly, a siren blared. A scout ship had picked up something big, an incoming Varnock fleet. But this was different. The enemy ships looked strange, modified, changed. They were using human designs. The Alliance was shocked. "How did they get this tech?" someone asked. Cole knew the answer. Someone leaked the data. Now the Alliance faced a terrible truth. The Varnock had human weapons, and they were coming fast. A plan was made. The Alliance would defend a nearby moon, rich in resources the Varnock wanted. But fear was high. "If they use human tech against us," one commander said, "we might not survive this time." Cole looked at the battle map. "Then we fight. Smarter. The Varnock may copy our tools, but they can't copy our minds." The battle began. The sky turned red and black. Human ships fought side by side with alien allies. The Varnock weapons were powerful, but the humans adapted fast. They changed their patterns, used decoys, and set traps. They made the battlefield confusing, hard to control. In the middle of the chaos, one Varnock ship flew straight toward the Alliance command station. If it reached it, the battle would be lost. Cole's ship chased it. Inside, the crew worked fast. "They're faster than us," Harris said. "Then let's make them slower," Cole replied. She ordered a risky move. Release. Engine heat into space to hide their signal. It worked. The Varnock ship lost them. Then the Resolve appeared behind it. One missile. One shot. The Varnock ship exploded. The battle ended in victory, but it was not a happy one. The Alliance had won, but the Varnock now had human technology. Trust was broken. Secrets were out. As the stars quieted once again, Captain Cole stared at the old data files. "This war isn't just about power anymore," she said. "It's about truth, and the truth is dangerous." Far away in deep space, General Croth watched a screen. "Soon," he said, "we won't just fight like the humans," he smiled darkly. "We will become them." The war was changing faster than anyone expected. After the Varnock used human designs in battle, everything felt different. The Alliance grew nervous. They started watching the humans more closely. Fewer smiles, more silence in meetings. The feeling of friendship was fading, but no one had time to worry about trust. The Varnock had started building something big, a space station the size of a small moon. It was hidden behind a dying star, wrapped in a shield, and protected by powerful ships. This wasn't just a base, it was a weapon. It had one goal: destroy Earth. The Alliance discovered the station just in time. A spy ship got close enough to scan it and escape. The report was clear. In 2 weeks, the station would be complete. Then it would launch a beam strong enough to melt a planet's surface. One shot. That's all it needed. Panic hit Earth's leaders. Evacuation plans began, but it was useless. There was no time. The planet had billions of people. No ship could carry that many. The only hope was to stop the station before it fired. Captain Cole and her team were called in. She stood before the Alliance War Council. Her voice was strong. "Let us lead the strike. We'll take it out from the inside." One commander shouted, "You want to go alone?" Another added, "It's suicide." But Cole stood tall. "We've done it before. You need a fleet outside to draw fire. Let us handle the rest." After a long silence, the council agreed. The plan was simple but deadly. A large fleet would attack the station's front. At the same time, Cole's team would sneak in through a maintenance tunnel found in the stolen data. Once inside, they would plant charges at the energy core. They had one chance. No second try. 2 days later, the mission began. The sky above the Varnock station turned bright with fire. Alliance ships moved in from all sides. Varnock cannons fired back. Explosions lit the blackness of space. While the battle raged, the human ship Resolve moved silently through debris, hidden by old parts and heat masks. It reached the tunnel. Cole's team suited up and entered the station. Inside, it was cold and quiet. The air smelled of metal and smoke. The hallways were wide, the lights red. Strange machines lined the walls, some made by Varnock, some clearly copied from human labs. They moved quickly, but something was wrong. Too easy. "No patrols?" whispered Harris. "They know we're coming," Cole replied. "They're waiting." As they reached the power core, the trap sprung. Doors slammed shut. Varnock soldiers dropped from the ceiling. Guns pointed. Lasers flashed. a voice echoed. Through the room, it was General Croth. "I expected you, Captain Cole," he said. "You humans love last chances." Cole looked up toward a speaker. "Then you know we won't stop." Croth laughed. "That's what I'm counting on." Suddenly, he activated a device. The power core began charging, not just to fire, but to explode. Croth wanted to destroy the station and everything near it, Alliance fleet, human team, and all. A final move to break Earth's hope. Cole made a fast choice. "Change the plan," she ordered. "We're not planting charges, we're flying this station into the star." Harris stared at her. "That's crazy." "No," she said. "It's human." They fought hard through the Varnock guards, close combat, dirty moves. One soldier was lost, then another. But they reached the control room. Cole hacked into the ship's systems. She set the engines to full power and aimed the station at the dying star nearby. The station began to shake. Alarms screamed. Varnock ships noticed too late. The massive structure turned and accelerated. Outside, the Alliance fleet pulled back, confused. "Why is the station moving?" one commander asked. Then, Cole's voice came through the channel. "It's done. We're heading for the star. Tell Earth we didn't run." The transmission cut off. From far away, the Alliance watched. The giant station, glowing red-hot, crashed into the star. A flash. A wave of light. Then silence. Everything was gone. No one saw Resolve escape. But a small pod, black and scorched, floated out of the explosion days later. Inside was a message. "Earth still stands, so do we." When the pod was recovered, the galaxy changed forever. The humans had done the impossible again, but at great cost. No one knew how many had survived. Cole's name became a legend. Some said she died in the star. Others believed she was still out there in the dark, watching, waiting. The Alliance, now more shaken than ever, began to fear something new. Not the Varnock, but what the humans might become next. Months passed after the fall of the Varnock station. Earth was safe for now. The Alliance celebrated, but the victory felt empty. Too many had died. Too many questions remained. Captain Cole was missing. Her ship never returned. Some believed she had died in the star. Others whispered that she had escaped and gone dark for a reason. On Earth, people were proud of what the humans had done. They cheered for the heroes. Statues were built. Streets renamed. But in the background, a strange feeling was growing. Something was watching. It started with small things. Signals lost in space. Ships vanishing near deep sectors. Ghost readings, like something was there but not visible. At first, the Alliance blamed leftover Varnock traps, but Earth's military wasn't so sure. A secret meeting was called. The location, a hidden base under the ice in Antarctica. Only top human leaders were allowed. Inside, the mood was tense. General Myers stood at the front. He showed them images, black ships without heat, moving through dead zones in space. "They don't match Varnock designs," he said. "They don't match anything." Someone asked, "Are they new enemies?" Myers didn't answer. Instead, he showed a final image, a symbol. It was old, very old. A black circle with a red flame. Someone in the room gasped. It was the symbol of Project Phoenix, the same project that had built the secret base in Part 4, the same project that Earth had shut down, or so everyone thought. Now the leaders knew the truth. Not all of it had been destroyed. Someone had restarted it, and those strange black ships, they were human. A new kind of human. Far from Earth, on a quiet mining moon, an outpost lost contact with command. A rescue team was sent. What they found shocked them. The base was empty, no bodies, no signs of fighting, just silence. Except one thing. A message on the wall written in dust. "Cole lives." The message spread quickly. Was she alive? Where was she? And what was she doing? Lillard Harris, the one who had survived the mission to the Varnock station, received a private signal that night. It was coded in Cole's voice pattern. It said, "Don't trust the sky. I found something. bigger than the war. I'm not coming back until I stop it. Then nothing. Harris went to the Alliance Council. She's alive, he said, and she's chasing something we can't see yet. But they didn't believe him. Some even said he was making it up to bring fear. Others demanded proof. So Harris made a choice. He left. With a small crew and a fast ship, he headed for the edge of known space where the ghost signals came from. He didn't ask for permission. He just went. His mission. Find Cole. Or find what? Took her. Meanwhile, Earth began to change. Defense systems grew stronger. Satellites were placed in deep orbit. New tech was built. Tech too advanced for what the Alliance knew. Some people asked, where is all this knowledge coming from? Others already knew. Project Phoenix was not dead. In the dark corners of Earth's military, secret labs were working again, testing weapons, studying alien tech, training soldiers in new ways. The goal was not just to survive, it was to prepare. But prepare for what? No one knew. In deep space, Lieutenant Harris finally found something, a signal, weak, hidden. It matched Cole's ID. They followed it to a broken ship on an old asteroid. The ship was empty, but the walls had messages written in blood. They were here, not Varnock, not human anymore. And finally, the war is not what we think. Suddenly, his ship was hit by a pulse. Systems went down, lights off, gravity gone. A black ship passed by, smooth and silent. No windows, no noise. Then it was gone. When power returned, all their records had been wiped except one new file, a voice recording. It was Cole. She sounded tired. They are using us, she said. Varnock, humans, we're both being played. There's another force behind this. I saw it. I barely escaped. Don't follow me, she said at the end. Unless you're ready to lose everything. The message ended, and the crew sat in silence. Far away, back on Earth, something strange happened. Secret AI in one of the Phoenix labs went active. It had a message for Earth's leaders. Just 2 words. They're coming. Earth was quiet. Too quiet. After the warning from the hidden AI, they're coming, every system went into high alert. Satellites scanned deep space. Old defense programs were restarted. Secret bunkers were filled. But no one knew exactly what to expect. The Varnock were gone, defeated and broken. Their empire had collapsed. And yet, the war was not over. Something worse was coming. Captain Cole had vanished again. Her last message had shocked everyone. The war is not what we think. Lieutenant Harris returned to Earth with her warning. He stood before the Alliance Council, voice strong but eyes full of fear. She found something, a force behind everything, something ancient, maybe even not from this galaxy. The leaders didn't laugh. They believed him now. That night, the stars flickered. One by one, long range, satellites went dark. Then, from the edge of space, a black fog began to appear. It moved slowly but swallowed everything. Signals, light, heat, gone inside the fog. Earth scanners picked up shapes inside, ships, but not like anything ever seen. No engines, no lights, just large black forms, floating like ghosts. Then a single message came through every device, across the galaxy. You were never in control. Panic spread. The Alliance called for full defense. Earth sent every ship into orbit. Cities went underground. The old Project Phoenix bunkers opened again. And then, they arrived. The enemy was not just one species. They were machines, organisms, living metal. Some looked like humans, others looked like shadows. But they all had one goal: erase all life. The ancient force had been watching for centuries. Waiting. It had helped start the war between humans and the Varnock. It wanted the galaxy to destroy itself. But when humanity survived, it changed the plan. Now, it would finish the job itself. Earth's defenses lit up the sky. Human and Alliance ships fought with everything they had. New Phoenix weapons fired, beams that could tear metal apart. AI systems took control of battle stations. Ground troops launched into space, but the enemy was fast, smarter. They learned quickly. Every time a weapon worked once, it failed the second time. Then, in the middle of the chaos, Cole returned. Her ship dropped out of the black fog like a ghost. Damaged, burning, but alive. She spoke to Earth one last time. This enemy, it isn't just powerful, it's old. Very old. It feeds on war. It uses fear like fuel. I found its core. I'm going there now. She uploaded the location. A strange planet at the center of the fog. Not in any star map. Not in any database. Just black rock and silence. She said goodbye. Then she jumped into hyperspace. Alone. Harris watched her leave. He wanted to follow, but orders came fast. Stay and protect Earth. So he stayed, and the final battle began. All across the skies of Earth, ships fought until they exploded. Cities shook, moons cracked, and in space, the black fog kept growing. Then something strange happened. The fog began to pull back. Piece by piece, it started to collapse inward, toward that hidden planet Cole had gone to. The enemy ships followed it. And then, silence. All at once, every scanner, every signal, every ship, gone. The black fog disappeared. No trace of the enemy, no message from Cole, just stars again. A few days later, a final transmission reached Earth. It was Cole. Her voice was weak, almost broken. I found its heart, she said. I destroyed it, but I won't survive. Then she whispered, we were never alone, but now we are free. The signal ended. The war was over, but the galaxy had changed. The Alliance rebuilt. Earth became a legend. People spoke of the humans with respect and fear. Statues of Captain Cole were raised on 100 worlds, and far in the dark, where no map reached, a small light blinked. A ship, floating alone, still waiting. Maybe Cole survived. Maybe the real enemy is still out there. Or maybe this was just the beginning of something bigger. But one thing was clear. Humanity had changed the galaxy forever, and no one would ever forget when humanity showed up.